about Baba Siri Chand?
Yes,
Okay.
I think he was the son of Guru Nanak, and he
Yes,
never aged. He was like always looked like he was 16.
yes, you're right. Or 12 or something. Okay. So now the other people here are Agya Paul, Sat Siddhikar, Gyan Das Prem, and Japa Saraswati. Okay. So now we can get ready. Okay. Do the recording. Okay.
We are recording.
Good. Okay. So come together, palms together, and keep up with heart breath. And inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev. Everybody still do hear that? No.
Om Namo
Namo
Gurudev Namo Om Jugakure Name Sadgure Name Sri Gurudev Sadgure Name Sadgure Name Sadgure Name Sri Gurudev Sadgure Name Jugakure Name Sadgure Sri Gurudev Name
Long deep breath. Feel that deep. Okay, now, does everybody understand about this whole situation?
See you again. This is Suzanne or Japa.
Oh, hi,
Joking.
sweet.
I'm
How
so
are
sorry.
you?
Would you repeat that again? I just got on.
Okay, just ask that for Japa Saraswati, please.
Joki and Devi, we just tuned in, and we're sitting here doing our heart breath, and Siri Gian asked if we understand what's going on. So we're doing heart breath, and we're waiting for Siri Gian to give us a prompt to meditate on from Baba Siri Chand.
Thank you very much, Japa.
Okay. Okay, and so now, wait a minute, is Jot Gyan Devi? Jot Gyan Devi?
Yes.
And okay, I'm just writing everything down.
Okay.
So this is Gyan Das Prem. Good. Okay. So when we will find out what Baba Siri Chand says, we'll listen to us from the meditation. And then after, each one will talk together from each one. Okay. And if you don't understand me, please let me know. Okay? Got it. Okay, so come together. Heart breath. And, and today, Baba Siri Chand says that this is about the concept for Shunia, also neutral. Do you understand about Shunia? You all know that? Okay. So keep it listening to that, and we'll do that for 3 minutes. Okay, begin.
Siri Gian, I'm so sorry, but my phone cut off and I need to hear what Baba gave us to listen to.
Oh, okay. Shunia, do you know Shunia?
I should, but I forget.
It's stillness or receptivity, stillness of power, not passivity, quiet, unmoving, and totally focused.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're also talking about neutral. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So stay about 3 minutes and begin now. And inhale. Exhale. And continue breath. Okay, so now each one gives the opportunity to talk up to about maybe 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, so I'll give Paul. Can you begin?
Sure. So thank you. Shunia comes up in Japji Sahib, and I'm not sure which poeties, but for me, this is a good bringing back, a good reminder of the state of consciousness that Shunia presents to us, and calls us to a state of listening, and not just, deep listening. And there's that line, Shunia Deepalo Patal, and so forth. And I feel that the state of consciousness of Shunya is, oh my God, what I need right now, just to stay in that state. And well, of course, neutrality is all is part of it. I didn't hear much about neutrality. I heard much more about, staying in your heart center consciousness of Shunya, and which is what you need, I need, and which is what I need to share with the world. So that this is a deep listening that needs attention and practice and dedication and so forth and so on. So that's what I heard. Don't forget Shunya.
All the time?
Yeah, but I do forget. But the idea is just to be in the ideal state. This is an ideal state of listening, of soul listening, right? And which brings along with it, of course, neutrality and such. But yes. So the goal is that my life be dedicated, focused on that sense of a deep, deep listening, and my consciousness be, what's the word, mature to the point of being in Shunya, and then recognizing when I get kicked out of it, or I just leave it.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay. Bless you. Okay.
Thank you.
So now, Salt City.
Mom, thank you for being here, everyone. Let's see. I got a tutorial on anger.
On what?
I got a tutorial. Can you hear me? I got a tutorial.
Gotcha.
A teaching on anger. And I was confused because, you have the words of the Siri Chand, and what are the 5? It's anger, lust, greed, pride, There's one more. Those are like the ugliest parts of, or the biggest places of struggle for egotistical humans who are not living from soul when they could, or they're growing and living from soul. And what is remarkable, and I've observed this across the Dharma in myself, is that, you know, we've understood that as taboos, really severe taboos. But so we'll just talk about anger, that it's really destructive and disturbing for me to be angry. And there's a deep energy in anger. Its root fire, I think, is righteousness, feeling of seeking, the soul seeking righteousness, because I think in every taboo or sin or whatever language we would use, a no biggie, no, is anger. But I think what I got from soul was that there's the right use. The anger is like a fire and an energy for truth. But if it's not delivered neutrally so that the other person can hear it without being deeply offended or angered themselves or just shutting down, that's not useful at all. And then there's another layer that's problematic in getting this to soul. That layer is that for women in our culture, like anger is just unattractive and unfeminine, and women don't really have much of a right, at least my generation. And I'm you know, of the women's lib generation, which was actually fired by intense social anger of women about their circumstances and the discrimination and also the disgrace of being treated like a sex object. So what I think trying to take away here is neutrality. So I have anger, I need to deal with it myself to bring it into neutrality so that I have the kernel of truth in the anger, but not the judgment that shuts down me, shuts down the other person, shuts down the discourse and the growing that could come from anger. So I really now kind of understand that those taboos, both they're social, and then I've been reading it for decades in the Siri Granth Sahib, that anger, greed, lust. So they're human emotions that have a lot of energy and potential for good. It's like we haven't gotten there with nuclear, although nuclear is used. My sister's getting radiation for a horrible case of cancer, lung cancer that spread to her brain and her bones. So we have positive applications of the nuclear power of anger, but it's got to only be delivered in neutrality. So that's that's what Soul's patting me on the back saying, Satsiti, this is very important. Grow and learn. And with that, I pass.
Good. Good. And we have lots of ways, especially heart breath, to become neutral, right? Okay. Thank you, Satsiti. Okay, so now how about Jokian David?
Okay. Mine was very simple. Can you hear me? Because I'm having trouble hearing myself. Are you, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. For the Shunia is stillness. For me, it is peace. It's also a reset. I feel this when I'm in the land with the trees, nature. I feel it and receive it as a gift. In the stillness, Baba can connect with me or us with our vibration or our frequencies. We can sync up so we can hear each other. This meditative state brings me a great peace and connection. That's all I got.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you can talk about that.
I think we can be so busy in our world that we'll forget about it. We forget that it is an asset that we have, something to reset, something to ground. And we have, that's part of a control that we have. So it's not just dominated by our outer world. So, yeah, I think it's a gift that's right in front of our faces. And it can just be sitting. It doesn't have to be any more than that. So I find it to be a very beautiful thing. And one we teach our children to always know that it's never take it for granted, that it has to be taught and passed on. So that's about it.
Well, that's about everything, don't you think?
God, when you don't have it, it's about everything. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So very important.
Okay.
And quiet, and and you can be anywhere and find it. You can get there.
Good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have Gian Sprem.
Vietnam. So for me, I was noticing, I could see myself in the noticing of sleeping or waking up and feeling that feeling of that stillness of that, I think, and for me, the Shunia or the stillness is part of the study, right, of this learning. And for me personally, the mantra itself, it sort of almost goes through the colors of the chakras, right? How we have a level of the energy, right? How the energy moves. And I think it's sort of being in that still space that we're allowed to notice ourselves from another perspective of how the work is, how the inner work of the breathing and the noticing of the breathing is allowing us to come to that mirror in the chant, in the study of that. It's almost for me, because I was just studying the vibration of the music first to come with it, because I've always been vocal in my way of celebrating my breath through music and using the sound. And I think in the Shunia, there's also a vibration of that, connecting with that circle of coming through, and that mirror of noticing that we are doing certain things, and that we have stages that we go through to understand as we work through our breath, and understanding, what's coming through with that energy, that it is sort of to a still point of noticing that breath. And I think the heart breath and the Shunya and the stillness, and that it has a place that we inherently have in our breathing, and in our rhythm of our breathing, and how things move. And for myself, of a person that has been with so many broken bones and so many accidents, with so noticing that pain, and then sort of having to release that pain, like noticing that exact pain in the body of, okay, I, fell down and hyperextended myself, and now I compensated in other ways. So we're absolutely moving away from the paying attention, right? When we're in attention of losing ourselves in that breath, we also have the ability to come into that focus as well, of seeing all of this as one thing, of moving through those particular energies and the colors, that we're moving through, that somehow has a rhythm that can return back to our breath, of all these natural things that are here with us, right? And that tuning of, finding that softness of, through noticing other things in my life. And, it's back to the mother, right? Of how noticing the pain of the birth, of the discomfort of, and having to move into that, and as an emotion, but also as a physical experience that we hold with us. That in the Shunia, we have a chance to move through that, to express ourselves. And once again, back to the mantra, which can come from the rhythm of the breath and the discovery of that, moving through that ability of, our emotions in our breath, in our way, in our being. And that's sort of a mirror that we come to, and it reflects back to us of that understanding. And, it's okay with the stories, because there are so many stories here for us to share that, and that vibration stays within here, that we all share that. And our breath and our meaning of what is Shunia. So I think it's really in that noticing back to that breath, and that the simplicity of that, and losing our word in our breath, and coming to that point of expression of a gentle, it's a humor, right? If we're here to be with it, and we can notice that within that relaxation of that softness is a joy, right? A celebration in that joy. And that's back to the full circle of, coming out of this being to present ourselves to the world, coming from another being. So, and in certain ways we're attached to that, and coming back to our breathing, and the Waheguru, I think that's the full circle. And yeah, and it's here for us now while we're presenting ourselves with this, all of this alchemy that we're here with. Yeah. And Baba Siri Chand is one who can, move around, right? From place to place. If we feel this energy, that it's in the breath, it's in the air, it's in the noticing of the clouds, and how we're moving around through here on this beautiful ball, right? The celebration. So yeah. And Waheguru into the healing of that, into the believing of the practices of, sometimes it's not forcing ourselves into learning how to sit or how to be, but just softening our mind, our thoughts, to come to that way that we find that relaxation, how in our sleep we can notice and portray that from where we are in this being. And Waheguru once again to the mirror, and to those who can't see, hear, or speak, we do have the ability to feel the vibration and to be with this, all the other elements. Waheguru.
Mhm.
Waheguru.
Thank you. Okay. Rosemary, Jai Jagdish, is that right?
It looks like she dropped off. Maybe she got stage fright.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Can I
Okay.
tell you about what Baba just showed me, because it's so wonderful, but I have to find the right words for it. So what Baba showed me about Shunya is about it being in this place of total stillness, and like the neutrality, like as if nothing exists anymore. And the way he showed it was the place between life and death. So, like that liminal space of the body after it has taken the last breath, but before it has died. And that's also what Baba showed me. It's there always. It's there at the bottom of every single one of our breaths. It's there in between this breath and the next breath. And that's how Baba travels. So Baba, Baba, you know how he's magical in so many ways. He exists in this shunya, in this liminal space between, because he is still alive, but he doesn't need to be in that place where he takes his next breath. So that's how he can time travel, for example, and that's how he can be in all of the spaces at all of the time. That's how he can come to me and you all over the place all at the same time, is because he's in this liminal space, because he's embodying this place of shunya. And also he's showing me that that's where he has always been. So that time that I was in class in Florida and he gave me that vision showing me about my home, that he was my home basically. But what he showed me was about it being that liminal space. Like, so we were in the clouds. I thought we were in heaven, but it turns out we were in the Himalayas. And even now, there might be something else on top of that space. But Baba is able, with being in that state of Shunia, that how do I express it? It's a vibration of his stillness. His stillness even vibrates. It's and he emanates that as well. It's something that he imparts and gives to all of us. But that state of Shunya is how he's able to like slip between. Have you guys noticed how he arranges timing, like makes divine timing? And he does this through that emanating and vibrating of this state of Shunya. And I think that's my message. Do you want to ask a question? Because I that was so clear that I had to say that much.
Well, there was a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was good. So keep talking.
Oh,
We could
well,
understand that a little bit more.
so Shunya, as Baba showed it, is in between life and death. And there's so much that happens at the bottom of that last breath. And we can access that right now by being at the place and cherishing the place in between our breaths. And he showed that as also the place for the lover's voice. He showed that as this place of going in and out, of being in between, of being liminal, of being between life and death. And that by being in practice with being in that space of stillness is how we amplify that ability in ourselves to be able to be in those subtle places, be um I want to say transubstantiating things the way that he is and does, the way of being in that space of neutrality emotionally, as well as like all of the other ways. Like Baba means this, that this is actually how he time travels. And the way that we can take some of that energy into our lives is by being in practice with the bottom of that breath. But what else he showed me was about at the bottom of the breath, it's the place in between the one breath goes in and the next breath comes out. He showed me about his own body, that like, so his body, they never found his body. He did something really special when he died called alope, ALOPE, and it means that his body just transubstantiated. And so his body is like, as far as I understand it, it's still alive, and his spirit is still alive, but like it's just not on this plane. And it's because of being in that space of neutrality, of that space of shunya, that it gets to travel in between, like this life and the next life. It didn't rot. That's why it didn't rot, is because it's on that in between liminal plane. And how do I say it? So we can have access to that. Like when Baba showed it to me as this is my home, he showed it to me as like almost in the way that I feel both married to my practice. You know, I've felt married to my practice for a long time. And also, I feel married to Baba Siri Chand in the way that he's like my companion and partner and stuff like that, but also that's that place of Shunia. It came from being in my practice of being in the bottom of the breath and in between the two spaces. It came from being in practice long enough to be on that vibration of Shunia with him. And it takes an applied, I want to say an applied presence of like when we get emotionally triggered or we have to navigate life with everyday self, and coming back to that place of Shunya, coming back to that stillness. That's why pranayama is so important to be practicing breath work. If we're not in the practice of controlling our breath, then one breath just goes into the other like panting. And instead we want to really suspend, fully exhale. Like I keep getting the message about with in energy, how do I say it? About the end of the breath. It's about the end of the breath. So like if you exhale only halfway and then you inhale, the air that was stale at the bottom of the lungs intermingles with the fresh air, and it's possible for people to walk around with only stale air in their lungs or with mostly stale air in their lungs. And the way to work around this is to fully exhale, and then all of the air in the lungs is of freshness. And that's really best for our circulation for while we're living. Like one of the other messages I've been getting today is about antioxidants and like how we need to metabolize oxygen to be alive and for our bodily nutrition. But like bringing it back to the yoga, we need to be in that place of practicing being in between the breaths and being in that place of suspension to really because it's a bit uncomfortable, you know, like if you think about the feeling when you put your face under the water as a kid and you try to hold your breath for a long time and you say, I'm going to stay under here and I'm going to beat my cousin or whatever. And you get that really uncomfortable feeling. It feels really uncomfortable, you know, and it can even induce panic. But that's the thing is about kind of guiding that inner child about saying you're not going to die and you just take a breath when you want to take a breath, but also like letting yourself feel that discomfort of that's the place that only we sense right before we die. You know, sometimes, you know, like if you don't take the next breath, so that's why that's uncomfortable, is because that's what the body thinks it's going to feel. And Baba sat in that place for so long that he just got so comfortable. He got to transubstantiate both his body and his spirit. And now he can time travel and do all kinds of other siddhi.
Hey,
that
so would you say that 1 minute breath is really important?
Yeah, 1 minute breath, but also like the Bastrika is how they in Sanskrit call the breath of fire. And that's really good for prolonging the breath and hyperoxygenating the breath so that then beforehand we can sit in that place of hyperoxygenation so that then we can suspend the breath afterwards. Like the 1 minute breath, but also doing exercises and building up to it, and not being mean to the body. It's not about being, I can hold my breath longer than my cousin. It's more about like challenging the self about how to do it. And it's not, I wouldn't say about, it's use your own 1 minute breath. How long is a minute? Baba showed us that he can time travel 1 minute. You know, 1 minute doesn't really exist.
Good. Okay, so can anybody else talk together about whatever you, to talk about? Are you there?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I can say a couple of things to Japa Saraswati's what she just mentioned.
Go
What
on.
what came to me as you were talking was I've been doing a lot of fear eradication
Mhm.
meditation, and
Mhm.
in that, and it's been extremely effective because, well, I'm doing it right for a change, and um breathing in, suspending the breath, and then breathing out, and breathe, the circular
Mm.
part of that is
Mhm.
extremely, I'm not saying I'm doing anything like time traveling or anything like that, but I feel that it's extremely um calming and Shunia izing. It's like it helps to really still me. It's not a 1 minute, but it's breathing in, suspending, and then releasing.
Okay, I'll
And
get off.
that's it. Yeah.
Can you go with the video and show about the actual practice? See that?
Um, the video
Mm-hmm.
To turn,
with
are you comfortable turning your video on and showing showing fear eradication?
oh, you mean show it?
Yes.
Oh dear. Um, if you want me to, okay. Um, okay, let's see. How's it going? Okay, you see me now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to, have to see
Okay.
your band.
I'm traveling out into the new sphere here.
Okay.
Yeah, so the fear eradication that I was just talking about focuses on a mudra. What's the fourth finger? Is that the earth finger? Anyway, so
No,
we hold
church. Remember the church?
the church.
Yeah,
So we
all the
hold
other still inside.
the ring fingers together, and all the other fingers are you know clasped together, and then we
No,
and
make all those together on the inside. No, can you see that?
yeah,
Like,
make them together on the inside. Thank you.
uh-huh.
I've been I see now. I've been doing it well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
The pinkies
okay,
also go inside.
got it.
Okay.
This is good.
Okay.
Okay, and then so once you have that, which is non-trivial, so you to practice a little, and then we focus our eyes, and again, it's going to pull on the optic nerve, or we're going to focus our eyes on the tip of our nose, and and we must remember that because it's easy to let that go. Focus on the tip of the nose, and then begin. I do 3 minutes of inhaling, suspending, and then slowly exhaling. And then inhaling, suspending, and exhaling.
Right. And each portion is the same amount.
Yeah, so I do 20 seconds in, 20 seconds suspend and 20 seconds exhaling. I have to work up to that. But I find that that is a tremendous help. And just now I'm making that connection with Shunia, because after I do the fear eradication, I'm definitely in a Shunia, a stillness, timeless space.
And there it goes.
I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, and you change. This is change for fear, letting go of fear. Look at that. Maybe it helps anger as well, right? Sat City? Sat City?
Well, neutrality, sure.
That's
Brings
right.
us to neutrality.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Now, Gian Das Prem, do you have something?
Yes.
Yes.
For me, what I'm working with actually is just controlling that outflow of the prana, right? Noticing it's almost like noticing the full breath. And when we come into that practice of, when we count our breath, or when we do it in spurts, sometimes if we almost take I'll say hits of the air. We do this undulation and this extracting, almost like I can look at a pouring of have one glass of water and pouring it from into one glass and into the other glass and into the other. If you kind of look at that, you have that going, and then you're noticing your breath too. So you're challenging your mind and your body in a way that allows you to, it just makes your mind do something else eventually, right? And it comes with this code, or this within the breathing, that frees something in the mind, which allows it to feel something. So within the practice of doing this, I can be instructed how to breathe in a certain way and how to hold my hands in a certain way, or bow pose, right? How hard is that? Very uncomfortable, but eventually, after a while, we get used to it, or we can learn how to reach our, just to learn how to get in that position of not being able to do it, and then coming into doing it while we're, practicing it. So I think within that, noticing is just this amazing thing of allowing that and extending, our breath to the point of where, when greeted with a situation that may not seem comfortable, we can find a way to once again present ourselves to the situation as in a more formal state of simplicity, of, and coming back into that noticing of our breath is the gift of our life, right? That truth is my identity through my breathing, and that's really where all knowledge and from myself will be shared with the world, and then Waheguru to that too, right? So having that practice, I think, is really important, and noticing our breath, right, to extend that out into the into the world of being able to absorb this energy that is, yeah. But the holding of the
What?
the holding of the fingers, though, I'm sorry, the holding of the fingers, it's the good thing about that is sometimes if you can't do a certain pose, that there are variations to that, and back into the breath, and and noticing that is so powerful. And I thank you for sharing that today with me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
I remembered something else that Baba showed me because of what Gian Das Prem said. about bow pose that's called Dhanurasana in Sanskrit. But what Baba showed me when we were doing the meditation was about the posture balasana, which is also known as child's pose or embryo. It's kind of like a little bean where you put your head on the earth and your torso is kind of nestled in between your knees. And Baba showed me that as being a really awesome posture to bring us back to neutrality. And and part of the reason why is because he said that so it's baby pose or child's pose like a child. And in all of the Udasi writings, not all of them, but in a lot of them, they call Baba Balè, which means little boy. And so we can stimulate the pituitary gland by being in this position and come into this state of neutrality or shunia more easily, and also be like more on the vibration of Baba Siri Chand. And he showed me about children, that children have an easier time coming into shunia than adults do for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And Jokian Devi,
Yes.
you have anything?
No, but I'm really enjoying listening to this. I haven't done the what do you call it? Fearless. What is the pose called?
Oh, bow pose,
fear eradication.
Dhanurasana.
Fear eradication. I really
Fear
enjoyed that.
eradication. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, please do it.
I
Yeah, I
loved
did.
having the video too, so that you could show us. That was really neat. That added a third dimension to the experience.
Yeah.
Good. You know, because we're talking about remember what is it? You put the people in the pews. Do you remember that? And you just
Yes.
put the steeple up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but the steeple is from the ring something. The ring
Yeah.
finger.
Finger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a little. Isn't that amazing? This is pure yoga. Isn't that extraordinary?
Mhm.
Yes.
Do the thumbs
Yes.
cross, or do they tuck under, or do they just cross at the top?
Say it again.
No, underneath.
They do go underneath. Okay.
Yeah. Like all the people inside, you wiggle your fingers underneath.
Okay, I can do that. I didn't think the thumbs. I thought the thumbs naturally stayed on top. I guess they don't. Okay.
Okay. So again, Paul, would
Yeah.
you do it again?
Oh, geez. Okay. Here goes. Okay, so where am I? Okay, see all the people inside? Okay, everybody's inside the church now. And we're gonna take the steeple, which is our ring finger,
Yeah,
the-
and the pinky
and
is
put them
also.
together, and the pinkies have to go inside
That's
too.
right. Okay.
Okay?
That's
And
it.
then you pray that you can hold it there. But no, you practice and you keep it. I feel that in my upper arms.
Mhm.
But and then as I said, focus on the tip of your nose, and then you do the breathing, the segmented breathing.
Mhm. Okay.
Guys, but
Tip of the nose.
everybody's inside.
Except for ring finger.
And the ringers, yes.
Okay. Good. And so it was good also for Japa Saraswati. You know, she has a lot of yoga and knows a lot of that. And she knows how to move her yoga through her body. It's important. Okay, so all of us, we know about yoga and get after them. Yeah, good for that. Okay. Anybody?
Thank you for the information on child pose. And is it stimulating the pineal gland and or the pituitary, whatever? Thank you. I didn't realize that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every single time I do it, I think of Baba Siri Chand
Okay.
because at the beginning of the most important prayer that Baba wrote, well, one of the most important ones, but it's really long. It's called the Matra Sahib,
Yep.
and it begins with Balè, and it goes through, and every single time I'm in child's pose, I feel the blessing of Baba. I can feel him blessing me with giving me this pose that I just feel is, I feel it is his. And it's really funny to feel like him because that's, I call him Baba, which means father. And I feel I've been really kind of tripping out on the Trinity thing of how Baba is all at once, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And when I think about the Balè, it's just this childlike baby essence of him, as opposed to, like, so often I go to him with like my concerns and troubles like a father. And it's what he's reminding me is that he gets to be like purely himself in this true childlike freedom without expectation is part of his child appearance, part of him being like a child. And I think of him and that freedom and that gift to me, of me having that childlike freedom when I too am in balasana. That was long-winded, but there it is.
Good.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that it would be a good idea if we have, excuse me, new people, then maybe with Japa speak for the next, before for the time, if they are getting understand
Sure.
by heart breath, pray, heart breath, and then all of that about how we're going to do Baba Siri Chand with listening. Okay?
Okay.
Is that possible?
Yeah, you said it, and a space grew for it. I have the understanding of how to do that.
Okay, that would be good. And and then also, when person would like to stay to listen, but they could also say, be silent, but let us know whether
Yeah,
is being silent or not. Is that
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, and I've been doing outreach to Angel Nora, and I feel like she would want to be in that category of the people who are the silent contributors.
Right,
And I
the
think,
angels.
yeah, we have to, I'll put some Baba Siri Chand energy. Baba will put some energy onto this and he will tell me how to do it.
Okay,
How about that?
be
That's
great.
how we'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I love
Thank-
you all and love Baba Siri Chand.
Thank
And
you.
God bless you, everyone. Okay, so who's going to, try with Sat City, be the leader for our song? Sat City, are you there? Oh, okay, so maybe with Gian Devi, would you lead our song? Are you there? Huh, something's funny. Okay. Paul, would you lead?
Oh, I would be honored. Yes. So again, let's rub our hands together. Let's get the energy going. Deep, deep breathing, clear out the lungs in gratitude for what everyone said and for what we heard from Baba. And inhale to begin.
Mhm.
May the light shine
on you, all love surround you.
around you and wrap you
Light within.
You
guide your way guide
guide
your
your way on. Guide
guide
your
your
way
way
on.
Inhale. Stop.
Stop.
No. Bless you all. See you next
Bless
week.
you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Satnam.
Satnam, have a great week.
Yeah. Stay in Shunia.